sitting in the room with him, but so we've gone for an hour and a half. Like I intended this to be a short class, and it took an hour and a half. Let's see if there's some discussion, because that's always the best part. I see Jamuna Jivana's hand first, and then Subal, and then Paramarupa. Then I'm sure there's going to be more. Yeah, you do the microphone. It's a nice service for you.
Marge, I have a question. It's a clarification question and a request. The clarification question is on the list that Shujiva Goswami presents in the Bhakti Sandarbha.
Yeah.
Starting with Kautilya.
Yeah. You want the list?
I have it. I was just, my recollection is that that list comes from this section that is discussing what is the consequence of aparad. And then beginning with that Kautilyam, then it leads to all these other things.
I reviewed it recently, and it's not specifically the consequence of offense. There may be another place where that's listed that I'm not connecting with, but it's in relation to the cause of fall down. You know, the Adau Shraddha is the steps in rising, and then if you're rising, how and what are the circumstances under which one can fall, or slacken or diminish? No, there may be more than one place, but that's my research.
Two references that come to my mind is one is in Japa book. I think in the very beginning, this list is given as consequence of Namaparad.
Okay.
And then in you had presented
It could very well be that it's a list from that Jiva Goswami drew and didn't say where it's from, and that where it's from is the consequence of aparad. But that's not where that's at least the context that I'm familiar with.
The request, Maharaj, is that clip of Prabhupada earlier this morning that stuck with me about chanting. Don't just chant whimsically, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 like that, and chant with priti.
And then it sounds like that's what he was doing. This recording.
Huh? Oh yeah, it sounds. Yeah.
Because he was chanting swiftly.
Yeah.
And recording, knowing that others are going to hear the recording.
I was just wondering if I could get a copy of that.
Which one?
Of Prabhupada saying,
here, I can give you a copy.
Chant
this one.
This one I have. Yeah.
Sit properly. It's online. You just go sit properly, Prabhupada, and you get it. That's where I got it. But the other one, you send me a text message and I'll send it to you. Just because I don't remember everything. Subal.
Sure, but Swami, same...
Welcome back, by the way. Have a nice Rath Yatra.
Yes, it was very nice.
Oh, good.
Thank you. Flight delay so many times, but I'm here.
Okay, welcome.
The same slide, the Bhakti Sandarbha 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
The context in which you were presenting that slide was on this why.
Yes.
And I was trying to understand the connection.
So it starts. It starts with it's where it starts, and then there's a sequence. The why is cheating. One stops being faithful and honest, and one becomes crooked and a cheater.
Oh, okay. No, it's not that the one below is the why the one on the top. No, it's not like that. It's each one.
The slide was saying slackening, and that's a phrase that Bhakti Vinod Thakur liked. Slackening and submission is a phrase that he used. So what's the cause? Why?
Now, I have so many questions about that list. Specifically, one that struck me was the first one of dishonesty
Crookedness.
and out of pride. Mostly out of pride.
Yes. That's commentary. It's not what Jiva Goswami wrote.
Okay. I was thinking, the part when you act or present yourself dishonestly out of shame, or sometimes even out of...
it's covering up.
Yeah, but sometimes you may cause a lot of harm.
Yeah.
If you present the straightforward thing. I'm thinking situations like that.
So then it's just a matter of being a cultured person. A cultured person knows how to say or not say, depending upon circumstance, but not speak purposefully something that's crooked. It's Vaishnava etiquette. And, etiquette is the ornament of someone who's Krishna conscious or cultured.
So to understand this dishonesty, when we talk about crookedness, is when the intention is to present something, to present yourself in a way that.
But supposing you're just in Maya, you don't even know that you're in Maya. You're in such Maya. That's crooked. It's ignorance. There's degrees, of course, in flavors. Paramarupa.
Maharaj, I wanted to check whether the points that were expressed for slackening, are they going in sequence?
Yes,
or
yes, they're sequential.
Then the last two were expressed as laziness in performance of bhakti, and then that is followed by taking pride in the performance of bhakti.
Yeah.
So that means that one is lazy at the same time one is getting puffed up about.
Yeah. So, it's, let's go back to the starting point. It's crookedness. And then there's degrees. It's like go the other direction. The bhakti process starts with faith, and then there's degrees of faith. And the degrees of faith have different labels. But, it permeates bhakti that becomes elevated. And crookedness pervades the bhakti that becomes corrupted.
Is the antidote for slackening, at least kind of going in the reverse direction?
Yeah.
Could be
Sadhu Sangha.
Yes. Cultivating feelings of gratitude towards those who are.
But then that's in the association of those who are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you serve those who are.
Mm-hmm.
We're all diseased. How do you get well? You go to a doctor. And you listen to the doctor with faith.
Just thinking, actually, the way the world is operating today, I think with time, I think this whole machine learning advancement is reaching a status where a machine can be fully trained in all the scriptures, and then one can pretty much depend on those machines for getting the answers, and then the role of a devotee will diminish over a period of time, and therefore the opportunity to express.
Not for real sadhus. You can't. The machine can't replace the sadhu. Nice try. And who's the sadhu that's going to program the machine? What to speak of? The inspiration of super soul aside from the machine. Nice try. And who knows if they may try for something like that and say, na 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 na. Just get one of our machines. You guys want to be spiritual? So
Thank you very much.
Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Um, can I respond to
Sure. This is free for all.
this? Thank you so much. Just in terms of the functionality of AI in the current age, maybe 2 points helpful from my point of view. First is we need to recognize there is a limit. There are limits of computability. Just in theory, from the purview of computer science, from mathematical logic, there is a limit, and you can't really go beyond that. So the attempt to solve all the problems and axiomatizing them into functions and get solutions by algorithm, that will be failed in theory. It has been closed case, so just forget about it. And the second point
She's a
is
mathematician. Take her word for it.
And also in this regard, I think it's important for us to recognize that Krishna himself says when there is decline in dharma and rise in irreligion, he descend himself. He never say he will descend an AI.
Case closed. Something else. You got everybody laughing.
This is more related to our lecture today, and I really appreciate that you bring up this very thoughtful topic as always, and I'm prompt to share something personal in this regard. I first began to consciously recognize the importance of asking why I think it's around when I was a second year or third year in my undergraduate study. And that was the time when top universities in the world start to do their open course programs, which means they post the pre-recorded classroom lectures on the internet and make it available to the global audience. And I remember one of the most popular course at that time was Harvard Justice course.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not my main field of interest, but I still watched a few lectures. And I remember one of the lecture is titled Mind Your Motive, where the professor introduced the philosophy of Kant to the discussion of justice. What is the right thing to do? And Kant thought the moral worth of an action depends on the motive of the action. It's not enough to for an action to be morally worthy just because it conforms to the moral laws. It's that the important thing is to do the right thing for the right reasons. And Kant believed that the only motive which confirms the moral worth of an action is the motive of duty. which means you do for the sake of morality itself, or you for cultivate reverence to morality. And the opposing motives would be all those motives that having something to do with inclinations, which means those things that emerges from pleasures and pains, loss and gains, likes and dislikes.
Subal, you're paying attention. Your question is being answered right now. Go ahead.
And then, thank you. And then, can't believe that so far we act on these inclinations. We are obeying something that we have not chosen or created ourselves, something that
Beyond us.
is imposed upon us. And this is basically on the same level as lower animals, or even in unanimated physical objects that obey the laws of nature. And
interesting
his
law class, huh?
His belief is this capacity to isolate the opposing motives and choose the right motive is what gives human life its dignity. And he says, respecting human dignity means we see people as not just as means, but also as ends in themselves, and not using people or not using people as means, even for good ends. And I didn't become a fan of Kant, but I found his proposal very appealing, and I tried to mold my thinking process pretty to this philosophy of mind your motive and respecting human dignity. And later I came to the US and came across devotees in Krishna consciousness. And I see that this proposal of Kant really achieved their perfection in the philosophy of Krishna Bhakti. And as I looking at it today, I feel this purpose of asking why will become more and more integrated in our words, thoughts, and deeds
culture.
As our sadhana becomes more and more mature. Just like Arjuna, he chose to fight because Krishna wanted him to fight, and Nanda Maharaj chose to stop Indra Puja and do the Govardhan Puja just because Krishna wanted. And I feel that purpose of asking why, this asking of why really is a doorway for us to enter into the very colorful, playful, delightful spiritual reality.
Subal?
Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Prabhu, 10 minutes remaining in this class.
Why don't 10 minutes? I mean, let's do one thing, bro. It's already 6:50. Let's ask devotees if they like anything. Maybe 10 minutes we can play tomorrow or something like that.
Okay, Prabhu. Yes, yes. Hare Krishna. Would you like to share some from today's class? Yes, Sharvir Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I like Maharaj when he spoke about Prabhupada's Hare Krishna Mahamantra and that he chants too fast, but he was getting emotional when he was talking that just to chant with Prabhupada, it means so much. I mean, it's a different experience altogether. So that portion I like. He got emotional very much and it showed. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ji, Dandavat to all devotees. So just adding on to the same point regarding chanting. So Maharaj liked the fact that chanting with Srila Prabhupada, although on a recorded tune. So I was just thinking if we maybe whenever we join our daily morning chanting, that's before these lectures, if we play Maharaj's chanting of japa or Srila Prabhupada's chanting of japa, and then we chant along with that. So that's one small suggestion in a recorded way. And regarding yesterday's the same lecture which we heard yesterday, so 1 or 2 points which I didn't say. So one is thank you Shamkun Prabhu for giving the context of George Harrison's life, because few times I've noticed Maharaj giving some example of George Harrison somewhere in during his lecture. So I was just thinking, why would Maharaj want to give him, quote him, etc. So I got some context to that. So thank you, Shamkun Prabhu. Also, Shamkun Prabhu, thank you for you mentioned that before you started speaking, you mentioned that you had the audacity to speak before Rajeshwari Mataji. So I'm particularly sorry that if I'm speaking before you, but it is for our purification that you want us to share some points. And the note is the same, that I am also deeply sorry that I have the audacity to speak before you. Sorry for that. And one more point is, Prabhu, that Maharaj mentioned that Srila Jiva Goswami is a fantastic teacher. So if at all we can get some glimpses of his teaching somewhere now and then in our daily, not daily, maybe sometime whenever you think it's appropriate, if you can share something about Srila Jiva Goswami which can inspire us. So because one sentence which Maharaj mentioned, obviously Maharaj would have heard and read about Srila Jiva Goswami's writings a lot, and he just concluded by saying he's a fantastic teacher. So if we can get some access to that, so that would be great, Prabhu. Thank you for that. And one last point, again, regarding yesterday's class is the part serving the whole, and happiness is when Krishna is pleased. So how do we get this inspiration, Prabhu, to go ahead with the same thing? With Maharaj gave the example of Prahlad Maharaj and Narasimhadev, where there is no, it's just I have to just serve you. That's all. There is nothing else beyond that. It's a full stop. There's no need for any reciprocation. It is I have to serve you. So how do we get to that point, Prabhu? How do we in our daily activities do the things so that we can somehow or the other, by good fortune, reach to that point, Prabhu? So that's one question, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Vivek Prabhu, in this call, there are many wonderful devotees here. So please don't put me on a spot by asking a question to me alone. You can ask all of the devotees. They're all well qualified. Just in the interest of time, quick thing. If you wanted to study more about Jiva Goswami, his primary book, which has been translated to some extent, are his Sandarbhas. The Tattva Sandarbha has been translated by Gopi Parnadana Prabhu. And there's also translation by Tripurari Maharaj. I find both of them to be good. You asked, how is he a great teacher? In what sense? Most of us, when we study Srimad Bhagavatam, we study sequentially. And there are commentaries also by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, by Sanatan Goswami. And Jiva Goswami's commentary on top of it also is present. And this is a book, like the way Srimad Bhagavatam goes has a particular flow, actually. But what Jiva Goswami did as a teacher is that he identified the prominent themes, and with that prominent theme, he tried to say how the various statements in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the pastimes actually what they speak about the topic, how they enhance the mood of the topic, all that things. So he brings about that kind of a thing. So he categorizes information, and a good teacher does that. That's the thing, Prabhu, here. In other words, if you take the Vedanta Sutra, the Vedanta Sutra takes the content given in the different Upanishads and the Samhitas. 1 minute, Prabhu. And if it gives a content given in the various Upanishads and the Samhitas, and then it the Vedanta Sutra says, okay, this is one point given in this Upanishad, it's another point given in the other Upanishad. What's the link between these two? What Jiva Goswami did is, prior to him, all the acharyas tried to give a commentary on that aspect. Like, okay, the Upanishads are speaking about philosophical point A, B, C, and what's the relation between A, B, C, and what is the final conclusion on the points A, B, and C. Jiva Goswami went very different. He said, the Upanishads speak about one thing, but the Bhagavatam speaks about something else. So he first and foremost, like in the Tattva Sandarbha, he starts with saying, what is the source of knowledge? Should it be the Vedas? Yes. Should it be the Upanishads? Yes. But is there anything more than Upanishad? Yes. And then finally, he establishes Bhagavatam as the ultimate pramana. And then he starts talking about various aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam in Tattva Sandarbha. And then he says, okay, now that we have talked about what is the ultimate source, who are we as Jivas? He brings that topic in the Paramartha Sandarbha. Now, if we as Jivas have somebody here, then who is the Supreme Lord? He talks about that in the Bhagavad Sandarbha. He takes a different approach. In one sense, it's a more modern approach. And a teacher adapts to the time. So in that sense, he's again a wonderful teacher. So those are few things about Jiva Goswami is a wonderful teacher. Second, you don't need to say apologies that you're speaking before me. I'd like to hear from all of you, and this forum is meant for that. So please don't say like that. And anything else? Third one, Prabhu? Yeah, I forgot. What is the third one?
Regarding chanting with Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada in the morning, Prabhu. So in the call, maybe we can play the
call. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Nice idea. Thank you.
One more question he asked about like part serving the whole on with the example of Narasimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj.
So what about that, Prabhu? I couldn't get it clearly.
That maybe Vivek Prabhu, can you elaborate a little bit that question?
Yes, sure. So how do we aspire and get to that stage where we say that I just have, you're my master, that's all. I just have to serve you. There's no other thing beyond that. So how do we get to that stage, Prabhu?
I have some thoughts, but we have nice devotees here on the call. Somebody would like to reply to that, please?
Hare Krishna. And would like to address this question. Any comment from the class? Hare
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Yugal Krishna, Prabhu. Yes.
Sorry, Prabhu. Is Mataji, if she's speaking, then she may please go ahead.
No, Prabhu, you can continue if Mataji can answer.
Yeah, regarding Jiv Goswami, in addition to what Shamkund Prabhu said, that we keep hearing from Maharaj. Maharaj always says that Jiv Goswami is my hero. And there are many things in addition to what Shamkund Prabhu said, that Maharaj also give a quantitative description of what Jiv Goswami has done. And we get some glimpse of that. So Maharaj said that Jiv Goswami has composed 5 lakh shlokas. 500,000 shlokas that he has composed, and to get in a comparative statement, it means that 4 Mahabharats. That means in one Mahabharata there's 100,000 shlokas, are there 1 lakh, so 4 Mahabharats. Then maybe we have 18,000 in Srimad Bhagavatam, and then 3 of 18 Srimad Bhagavatam, then 1 Ramayana and Bhagavad Gita, including together everything is close to the 5 lakh shlokas. So that gives the vastness of the composition that Jiv Goswami has composed. And Maharaj always says that just try to sit and try to write Vas Puja, then you'll understand what it means to be writing 500,000 shlokas. So that is the Jiv Goswami's things. And today, Dr. Radhika Raman Prabhu, who has actually done PhD on Jiv Goswami's, even a few shlokas of Jiv Goswami is worth of 1 PhD. And then Maharaj said that imagine if you have 5-6 shlokas, you can make n number of PhD students from Jiv Goswami's shlokas or his study. Very great Acharya and Maharaj's favorite hero. So we get glimpse from Maharaj about Jiv Goswami. Regarding the question that you asked, you are only my master and I am your servant. Recently, I have been studying Nectar of Devotion, and there are different stages of pure devotional service, which is Anya Abhilasita Shunya, which is a sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti has Vaiti sadhana bhakti, Raganuga sadhana bhakti, then Bhava bhakti and Prema bhakti. And sadhana bhakti is actually is being done under the guidance. The impetus for sadhana bhakti is the instruction coming from scriptures and spiritual master. And many of us could be in that category. Of course, even lower than that, but for the theoretical things, we may be there. So the impetus for that, the definition Rupa Goswami gives so fantastic and so nice that it has this Vaidhi sadhana bhakti has 4 angas of the definition, and one of the angas is that following the rules and regulations, as far as the impetus is coming from that, but potentially there is potentiality in sadhana bhakti that one can awake bhava bhakti. And so how can we go there? So from the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, one can understand that we have to have, not just by practicing these 64 angas of devotional service, but having a goal in life that potentially I have to come to the stage of Bhava Bhakti. And that is very clearly Rupa Goswami says the Bhava Bhakti, the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, that one should practice that, having the goal in life. So one thing just I'm sharing here, that having that goal in our life that I have to potentially come to the Bhava Bhakti will definitely help us to that. Without goal, we might be wandering here and there, but if there is no goal in that, and eventually from Bhava Bhakti to one may reach to the Prema Bhakti. So since we are on that sadhana bhakti, the impetus is to follow the instruction and a scriptural and spiritual master, which is Srila Prabhupada says that life and soul of practitioners. So by doing that, one can actually come potentially to the Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. What Prahlad Maharaj is actually exhibiting, that is very topmost. But once we actually go through this, and it has sadhana bhakti itself has a stage which begins with Adav, Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, and Anartha Nivriti, which most of us might be struggling there. And then comes Nishta, Ruchi, asakti, and then one come to bhava and prema. So by having this sadhu sangha bhajana kriya and coming to the anartha nivruti, and before we actually come to the nishta, these all obstacles of anartha would actually get eradicated, and then one may reach to the platform of nishta, which is a steadiness. So this going through these all stages of bhakti will actually help us to that. So for all of us following the 60 whatever the recommendation Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas has given us, and with the goal of reaching to the bhava bhakti. Thank you, Prabhu. Not sure will that help. Does that help you, Prabhu?
Yes, bro. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for addressing uh, like vastness of the Jiva Goswami's composition and how we can progress to Bhava Bhakti from Sadhana Bhakti. Yes, Sharvari Mataji, you would like to add something?
Basically, it was wonderful to hear from Yugal Kishore Prabhu regarding Jiva Goswami particularly. I just wanted to know these all 5 lakh slokas which he mentioned, Yugal Kishore Prabhu, where do all these belong? I mean, it forms a part of what basically? Just wanted to know. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yugal Krishna Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. What was the question that?
Sorry, Prabhu, I could not put it clearly. My question is basically these 5 lakh slokas that you mentioned, which Jiva Goswami wrote during his lifetime. Where would these be available? Like we know Srimad Bhagavatam has got 18,000 slokas, and you said Mahabharata has 1 lakh slokas. So where will all these 5 lakh slokas belong?
Okay. As Prabhu said that it all comes all Jiva Goswami's books and mainly Sandarbhas. And Prabhu had given that how he has given the different Sandarbhas, which actually commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, and also many other books that Jiva Goswami has composed. So those have been in that book. Some of them might be translated by different devotees coming in disciplic succession. I'm not sure whether everybody, all the things are available or no. Maybe our Shamkun Prabhu can give more enlightenment on that particular topic, that whether we have all this, how that 5 lakh actually sums in that. It could be difficult, but probably we may have to go back and come see that. So, but it's all in Sandarbhas and the books that he has composed so far. And that is what we have been hearing. So Shamkun Prabhu, you may have something on that particular, throw some light on that if.
Actually, Mataji Prabhu, so Jiva Goswami has, I think, a 4 lakh plus verses, but it is in the category of some verses he composed and some are those that he compiled. So if you take his books, he quotes a lot of verses from many books, and sometimes he quotes the same verse from the books again and again. So in that sense, he himself has not composed 4 lakh verses. He has composed a little lesser, and the Sandarbhas have some verses there, but there is also the commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam and the other books like Gopala Virudavali, etc., on which he has written. And his main thing is the verses that he has composed is the Sarva Samvadini, which is a commentary on these Sandarbhas. So all put together, it's there, Mataji. And we right now we have a translation of Tattva Sandarbha by Gopi Prabhu. Sometime this year or later the next few years, we are going to get the copies of the English translation of Paramatma Sandarbha and Bhagavad Sandarbha also, published by the BBT, or I think their extension like that. It's going to happen shortly, Mataji. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone. We'll continue tomorrow. If anybody would like to add or answer these questions in elaborate way, we'll stop today, Prabhu.
It's true. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare